Hello and welcome back to our self-massage series. So last week I shared some common pain patterns when it comes to headaches, and if you have not seen that, check that out. And this week we're going to address plantar fasciitis, aka heel and foot pain. Sometimes it's true plantar fasciitis and sometimes it's just a restricted muscle. We're going to go over 3 common muscles that can be causing the plantar fasciitis and heel pain today. Let's get started. Okay, so we are going to first start out with our gastrocnemius. So this muscle is actually this big bulky, it's actually 2 sections here. This muscle causes plantar fasciitis symptoms. It also causes pain in the back of your calf and into your knee. And it also can cause night cramps. So if you're experiencing plantar fasciitis symptoms and night cramps, most likely this is your guy. And so with this muscle, all you really need to do is just like, truthfully, the technique that I used in the headaches video is going to be the same technique that I use here and pretty much everywhere. If you can grab onto the muscle, then all you have to do is hold it. Fine, and I already have a tense spot. I walked 5 miles yesterday, but you just look for a tender point and you hold that tender point. Feel that it releases and then you move on. So you just do that the length of the muscle and you're looking for the most tender spot. And you can also do it on the other side. And then if you have some lotion, you can also do some gliding just to kind of help to soothe it as well. Next, we're going to talk about the soleus muscle. So this muscle is deep. So in order to get to that, you really just have to squeeze, and you can squeeze with your, both hands together, or which I'm going to do, you can use both of your hands. So you use your middle fingers and compress it this way. And so you try to relax as much as possible, and you just come off of the bone and just press into the belly of the muscle. You don't want to press into the bone, but you find the bone and then come off of that. And then again, you just find this tight spot, which I'm already feeling, and you just hold it. Now, the soleus muscle also actually allows the blood to pump back up to the rest of your leg. If you have heel pain and you've even noticed that you have some swelling in your ankle, this is definitely a muscle that you want to be working on. And of course, as always, you make sure that you don't have any serious health condition. If you go to the doctor and they're like, I don't know, you're fine. Maybe you have too much salt in your diet. And you're like, no, I eat very healthy. Why is this happening? It could be this muscle's restricted and it's just preventing that pumping action. You find a tender spot and you just hold it until it releases, and you just repeat that a few times. The other way to get to this muscle is to actually just press in. So you just find the center of your calf and you just press in. And oh my goodness, I already feel that. And I actually can feel that going down into my heel. When you find a spot that recreates that pain, hold that. That is a trigger point, especially if I'm pushing in my calf and I feel it in my heel. You want to just hold that for a period of time till it releases, and again, you can repeat that a few times. The other muscle that is common in creating a lot of heel pain and plantar fasciitis symptoms is called your abductor hallucis. And so this muscle is located right here in your foot. And I gotta tell you, I actually worked this on my husband, and it was a game changer. So this muscle, granted, it's right here on your foot. So if you have pain in this area, it can definitely be caused by that because you can experience pain just in the same exact point. But also what this muscle does is it can actually compress on the nerve and the blood supply to your fascia and cause degeneration of the fascia just from this muscle. And that happens a lot of times because your shoes are too tight, so it's squeezing on your toes too much, or you have shoes that, I kind of like the runner shoes. If you're wearing runner shoes all the time, they have that toe spring where your foot comes up. If you're in that position too long, that can cause problems. So for this muscle particularly, we want to treat it. You really want to look at your shoes and see if you can change your shoes in order to not be in that cramped position. What you really need to do is just you can hold your foot, and you're just going to take your two thumbs, just push towards each other, and then you can just massage ever so lightly. And again, if you feel something in your heel, just hold it. Any tender spot that you feel, if it's very tender, just hold it and just see if that will go away. Now, you can also glide. And if that's uncomfortable, if that you feel like that's irritating you, don't do it, because that's actually an indicator that there is some nerve compression going on in there. So you want to go back to just this. And again, you just repeat all of these at least 3 times, and you can do this often, you know, every day, every other day, just depending on your symptoms. So we're going to move on to how to stretch the muscle, because if you remember from last video, you treat the muscle and then you stretch it in order to restore its normal length, which will restore its normal muscle function. So for this abductor collicus muscle, one of the best things you can do is actually just flex your toe. Hold that for maybe 30 seconds, release, and do that often. You know, really, especially if you notice that you really have problems in here, just do that a lot. Especially if you do wear shoes that keep your foot up like this, you know, the toe spring, you want to stretch that out. Now, let's move on to stretching the gastrocnemius and soleus. And you can do this anywhere, because if you're on a walk and you start having cramps, you can do this. You can just stop anywhere and do this. You don't need to have a wall or have a step near you. So you just want to give some space between your two legs. And we're going to first stretch the gastrocnemius. Now this muscle crosses over the knee. And so to stretch that, keep your leg straight and create an angle to where you can feel a stretch. So you're coming forward, but your leg is straight. And you should feel the stretch in the back of your calf and even up into your knee a little bit. And you just hold that for 30 to 60 seconds. Just go into it to where you feel the stretch, allow that stretch to release, and then come back out of it. Now to stretch the soleus muscle, it's basically the same thing, except there's one major difference, and we're going to actually bend our knee. And by bending our knee, we're taking our gastrocnemius out of this, so we are no longer actively stretching the gastroc. We are focused on the soleus, which is, again, that muscle that's deeper. And we're doing the same thing. You may need to create a little more space between your legs, and then you just bend forward, keeping your knee bent, but keeping your heel on the ground. But now where you will feel the stretch is more in the back of your calf. You do not feel it in your knee anymore. You just stretch until you feel the stretch, hold it, you know, maybe 30 seconds or as long as it takes for you to feel that stretch release, come out of it and repeat. And you do that multiple times. So another thing that you can do for plantar fasciitis, and actually you should do this in the morning, right when you get out of bed if possible, is just roll out the fascia. Just as if you were rolling out your hips or your back or anything on a foam roller. So I got this little tool from Amazon, so I'll link that below. But you can really just use anything, like a tennis ball. You can even use a golf ball. My brother-in-law ended up taking some little Dixie cups, filling them with ice, freezing them, and then rolling out on that too. So if it's true inflammation, the ice really does help. So I have a couple other products that I really like. This is a CBD oil infused muscle rub, and put that on the area of pain and just really massage that all the way into your calf. And so this is a roll-on. It has peppermint, wintergreen, and copaiba. So if you can avoid touching it, that's best, because it can burn your eyes. But you can do the same thing. You can apply this right to the back of your calf. You can even put this down on your heel. You can put this on the instep of your foot, wherever the pain is. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me today and learning how you can self-treat your foot and heel pain, aka plantar fasciitis. So I really hope you found this video helpful. Try these techniques out. Let me know how it works out for you. These are things that you really should repeat 3 times and maybe every other day until you start to feel some relief. These are things that you can be incorporating just into your normal routine, especially if you're on your feet a lot. So if you walk a lot, if you do a lot of exercise, if you're standing a lot, those muscles become victims. I really hope you enjoyed this, and I look forward to the next time getting together. So leave a comment and let me know if there are any other areas that you have aches and pains that you would like to know how to self-treat while we are going through this crazy time right now. But this crazy time will pass, and so I'm gonna leave resources below where you can find a qualified massage therapist in your area, so then you can have someone to help you once we are all able to receive massage again. Well, I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much again, and I'll see you next time. Bye.